Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. On September 30th, 1982, NBC pulled itself out of the lowest ranking out of the major networks by taking this initial step in doing that and releasing a new sitcom called Cheers. That series had 275 half-hour episodes across 11 seasons. The premise of the show is pretty simple. It's about a Boston bar where a group of locals meet to drink, relax, and socialize. At the center of the show is the bar's owner and head bartender, Sam Malone, who's a womanizing former relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. The show's ensemble cast, introduced in the pilot episode, are waitresses Diane Chambers and Carla Tortelli, second bartender known as Coach, and regular customers Norm Peterson and Cliff Clavin. Later on, main characters of the show were introduced, that including Fraser Crane, Woody Boyd, Lilith Sternin, and Rebecca Howe. Like so many of television's greatest success stories, Cheers was not an immediate hit when it was first released. As a matter of fact, it had really dismal ratings, ranking 77th out of 100 shows the week that it premiered. And it was NBC's entertainment president at the time, Brandon Tartikoff, who saved the show from cancellation during its first season and decided to see if things would change. In the script's earliest incarnations, Sam Malone was supposed to be an ex-football player, which made a lot of sense early on because they were considering Fred Dreyer, a former NFL defensive end, to play the role of Sam. Opposite Julia Duffy as Diane, William Devane was also a strong contender. Ultimately, it was the chemistry between Ted Danson and Shelley Long that led them to getting these gigs on the show. Once the casting was finalized, the creators swapped out football for baseball, based on Danson's body type. Danson also spent 2 weeks at a bartending school in Burbank, California. All this to prepare for his role playing Sam on the show. Both George Wendt and John Ratzenberger auditioned for the same role in the pilot. A minor character named George who had a single line in the show. That was his statement of beer. The character's name was changed to Norm Peterson when Wendt was cast in the role. But Ratzenberger wasn't about to give up so easily. When he was leaving the audition, he stopped, turned around, and asked the production people if they had a bar know-it-all already cast. Being from the New England area, he knew that every bar in that locale had a know-it-all, someone who pretends to have the knowledge of all mankind between his ears, and they aren't shy about sharing it. Thus, this leads to the birth of Cliff Clavin. The co-creator of the show, Les Charles, stated that Norm was based on a real person. You see, he had worked at a bar, and they had a guy that came in every night. He wasn't named Norm, but he would always come in and have just one beer. And then he would say, "Maybe I'll have just one more." By the end of the night, every night, they had to help him out of the bar. His wife would often call, and they would always tell her that he wasn't there. Norm's never-seen wife, Vera, is voiced by George Wendt's real-life wife. Though she's only credited in one episode, Bernadette Burkett provided the voice of Norm's wife, Vera. And she did make one appearance on the show as a love interest of Cliff's in Season 3. Many of the random and untrue facts that Cliff Clavin offers up was ad-libbed by Ratzenberger. After a few years on the show, they realized that the producers could trust him to not mess it up. So little by little, they just let him sort of run off with it. In order to nail the bar talk aspects of the series, The creators regularly visited bars in the Los Angeles area just to eavesdrop on the patrons' conversations. In the series premiere, there's an argument about the sweatiest movie ever made, which was lifted from one of these overheard conversations. It's pretty amazing that viewers frequently complained about the volume of the laugh track that was added to the show, even though there was no such laugh track at all. In 1983, a quick disclaimer, spoken by one of the regular cast members, was added to the beginning of each episode. That was, Cheers was filmed before a live studio audience. This was in direct response to viewer complaints that the laugh track was too loud. Kirstie Alley is the only main character of the show who didn't make a guest appearance on the spin-off show Frasier. And it's more than likely because of the psychiatric profession being a mainstay of the show and her conflicts with her beliefs as a Scientologist. Kirstie once said that she would never do a show about psychiatry. The fact that Woody played Woody was a complete total coincidence. Though many of the non-regular bar patrons' real names were used in filming the series, the fact that Woody Harrelson ended up playing Woody Boyd is by sheer coincidence. The character's name was written into the script long before any actors had auditioned for the role. The bar on the set may have been fully functional, but that doesn't mean the cast got to spend the whole day throwing back cold ones. Norm may have had it the worst. As the bar's resident lush, he's rarely seen without a sudsy glass of beer in his hand. But what's really in that glass is near beer, a weakened strain of ale mixed with a bit of salt to keep a perfect head on the glass at all times. Now, Shelley Lee Long, who is an American actress, singer, and comedian, played the role of Diane Chambers in the show. She plays a girl that has a tempestuous on and off relationship with Sam Malone. She ended up leaving the series after season 5 in 1987. Now, there were some pictures that surfaced not too long ago of her that were taken in the LA area. And I have to tell you, these pictures are pretty shocking. She looks nothing like she used to from the show. Now, I realize we all get older and we change. There's nothing we can do about it. But it seems so much more obvious with Hollywood stars because that's their mainstay. That's what got them popular, is the way they look. And when their looks change, even though it's the normal aging process, it's still pretty shocking to us. And if you were to bump into her while she was out walking her dog or having lunch with a friend, you probably wouldn't have known that you were looking at Diane Chambers from Cheers. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.